Next, I'm going to remove the mat from the top and the light, and then start my pumping. With this new lid, you can just slide it back and insert the pump down into the water. Okay, so make sure everything's untangled. Slowly put the pump down in, and then get the pipe and feed it into the bucket. I always like to secure it with a hose holder because it keeps it from coming out and getting all over your floor. Okay, with the pump plugged in now, I'm gonna turn the toggle on. It'll start dispensing the pond water, or not pond water, frog water, into the bucket. I try to keep it off of the bottom at the beginning because it gets a lot of scuzz in it. Continue to pump the water out. You'll easily fill up 2 buckets, and then you should have a little left over for a 3rd bucket. One of the things that it's important to remember is if you turn off the pump, that does not necessarily mean water's going to stop coming out of the end. So you need to turn it off, lift the pump out of the water, and then pull the dispensing end up out of the bucket. I'll try to demonstrate this with 2 cats in the way. All right, so I just turned off the power. Now I'm going to lift the pump out of the water, and you can just set it on top like that. And then go back to this, turn it upright, and then put it into your other bucket. And that should look like this. Sometimes this is the messiest part. All right, now lower your pump back in. I cannot believe I've been doing this for 5 years. And turn your power switch back on. And you get cleaner water this time, hopefully. A little less urine-like. Okay, case in point, I paused this water with the power button and went and got a 3rd bucket because I forgot it really needs 3. And it filled up while I was gone to the garage. So be very aware of that. The gravity itself siphons that water out. So this is about the water level that I start trying to catch the frogs at. You can even go a little bit lower. I don't like to give them a lot of water to thrash around in because they're just too risky about hurting themselves. And it's about at this point that they start getting crazy and the pump stops working. So just leave it off and try to catch them. Okay, at this point I grabbed the smaller bucket and also the net so that I have something to put the wet net into and hopefully keep the cats out of the frog tank. Honestly, I've now brought in a dish pan too because I'm going to put the interior equipment that's inside of there, the props and plants and all that crap, in here just to make it a little easier. And I have the pump sitting in that small bucket waiting for me. Again, dealing with cats. And take your time moving this stuff because it's typically really full of scuzzy water. And I always hold it for as long as I can, get it dripped off, and then transfer it into the cleaning container. Ooh, this smells so bad. Okay, going in for the plant. Drip, drip. Okay, now we're down to frogs and rocks. Hold, please. Okay, I didn't film that grab, but all I do is just go into the tank, put push them up against the wall, and then I grab this last drippy part of the net and encapsulate them in that little flap. Otherwise, they will get out. All right, I'm going to try to do it this time to where you can see. Come on. Come on, buddy. Obviously, they're very dumb. Honey, I'm filming something right now. I'm filming. Okay, so you've got him in the side like this. Just pull it up and hold that netting so he can't get loose. Okay, so this is a good time to talk about my power setup. You can see on the strip, the front one, I've got the excavating pump. And then I have the light, which is plugged in on that timer. And the black one is the filter, which honestly, I should have unplugged at the very beginning. So I'm going to plug that now and make sure that it's not running dry, which it was. Okay, with just a couple inches of water, you can either bail that out, or if you have help, you can get somebody to tip the tank so you can continue pumping. You can see how dirty it is now. This would be a good time to show you how the filter piping comes up through this little hole in the acrylic. See, you have the pump adhered to the wall, and then you feed this air distribution cap out, and then the power, and that goes over the back. Okay, so how to remove the acrylic panel. You slide it to the middle.
Let's put the cord in it.
No, you don't have to worry about that. She saw how it went in.
Okay.
Okay, now slide it back. And this is how you remove it. You get it past the
indentions.
Yeah, indentions. With Ladybug's help, of course.
And then you remove it.
And then you can remove the metal frame and that. Now I've removed the filter from the back, and you can put it in your bucket and take it to the sink. And I'll show you how to clean that. Okay, so now we've got it lifted up on one side to finish getting water out into the tank. Into the bucket. When you get it down an inch or so, you can usually carry it, but it's heavy. Okay, so now I've got the tank to just a smattering of water, and I'm going to start scooping the rocks into another bucket for cleaning. This little pad here is what is left underneath the aquarium after you move it, and it's imperative that you leave it in place so that when you come back with the clean tank, you know exactly where it goes. You can see here I have the dirty tank set up on towels. This is how I clean it. You're probably going to want to put towels in a bathtub. I don't know if you have enough space in your kitchen. Okay, it's really important that you line your sink, so if you accidentally hit this glass, then hopefully it won't break the tank. Yeah. Okay, you see I set the tank on end, and I've got it padded at the bottom so that I can't accidentally chip it. And now I'm going to take a white melamine sponge and start scrubbing it with just clear water. Okay, so this melamine's amazing. It just works so good. Just make sure that I've got it nice and wet. And going into the sides, corners. You get the idea. You know how to clean. Okay, as you're cleaning the tank, an important tip is to take the corner of your melamine and try to really get down into those corners. You see the scuzz hiding. Of course, I rinse with every pass. Sometimes I'll get 2 cleanings out of 1 sponge, but sometimes it's so bad it just kind of is a lost cause after 1 clean. And you get the gist. I'm not sure if this green will ever, here, let me swap pans, come off of this corner. You see that? It may be just stained in the sealant at this point. I'm gonna keep trying. Okay, I just discovered a tip. I'm using one of these little tiny bottle brushes, and I'm just going along the inside corner. Probably a toothbrush would do the same thing. But you can see how much of that green it's pulling off. I'm gonna keep doing that. Sorry for the jiggly camera. What I've learned over the years is having white kind of behind the tank helps you to see if there's still goo on the walls. Anyway, you'll figure out your own ways to clean it. See what I was saying here? I just put it on a white towel and you can see this green that's almost invisible if you don't have any contrast. So I've got it up on the counter, and I'm cleaning the rest of it this way. It's so easy to miss patches of algae, so I have to go back over it several times. I usually flip the bottom to the top and look once more. You can see that's pretty nasty. And here we still have some kind of goo. I don't even know what that is. By the way, you can water your plants with any of the water that you discard out of this thing, and they absolutely love it. Why, I don't know. It stinks to high heaven. All right. Okay, as a final going over, I'm just gonna take a, so hard to do this if you're right-handed. Take a toothbrush and go back into the corners, every corner. Then I'm gonna rinse the tank. Okay, the next stage is the filter to be disassembled and clean, the biofilters. The blue goes on the bottom, the charcoal goes in the middle, and the yellow goes on the top. Now, one of the things you need to keep in mind is you can squeeze those yellow and blue sponges all you want, rinse them out, but do not squeeze the charcoal. It will keep it from working correctly. And I'm giving you some new sponges today. I'm gonna try to do this just on the sink. So obviously you kind of wiggle this, get the lid off. There's the pump, set it aside. This is the filter cartridge. It can be a bit of a bear. All right, so take it apart, and yellow comes out first. You'll see there's a post in there that links them. Here comes the charcoal, and lastly the blue. All right, so that's how that goes. This is the bottom, that's the top. So you can see this is pretty nasty. I'm just gonna clean that up real quick, and I'm gonna use my pipe cleaner tools to get this clean and then reassemble it. So you just rinse these thoroughly. You can, like I said, you can squeeze them, put water through them. Just do not ever do that to the charcoal. The charcoal just gets a rinse. Okay. And we try to remember the way we had it. You can see these get pretty funky. Probably should do all this with gloves on, which I never remember. And then just scrub all these little parts here. Okay, this is the filter that I use. And these are the replacement sponges. I had an absolute bear of a time finding them on Amazon, but somehow finally did. And I'm going to replace those for you so you can set up with a brand new filtration system today. And here's the ASIN number. Gosh, can't do that one. Okay, so I've cleaned this out with a toothbrush and we're gonna reassemble it. Oh, I forgot. This little post goes in the bottom. And you thread the blue on. Oops. Then the charcoal. And lastly, the yellow. Okay, the little tube that comes out, I'm putting one of these pipe cleaners in and cleaning that out. It had some scum in it. Just getting the rest of this clean. Okay. Now we reattach this fitting and reassemble. So we'll put this back down in like that. And let me see, which way is this going? Ugh, such a pain in the butt. Alright, just make sure it seats. You have to push on it kind of hard. And this just fits back on there with that groove. And see, then this part here, of course, hangs onto the glass. So that's all clean and ready to go. The only thing left to do is clean the plants and the props, and I'm going to do that, and then we will reassemble all of this at your house. But after we get this tank clean, the first thing we'll do is put some water in, and so that way we've got a little bit of cushion, and then we'll add the rocks at the bottom. And from there you just, rearrange everything, put the filters in, pump the water back in, and there is one more thing I need to tell you about the water. Hang on, let me get it. And finally, you have to condition any water going back in. It goes without saying that you need to be sure that it's between like 75 to 85 degrees. Don't get it real cold or the frogs will go into shock. And always check that, especially if it's been, cold weather. But this is called Prime. I've had this forever and it is still going strong. I don't know how much is in there, probably about 3/4. I don't know. But I have it written on the bottom, and it's basically you put 10 drops into every 5-gallon bucket that you add. So I just use the dropper, put in 10 drops, swirl it around in the water, then add it to the frog tank. And that is easy peasy. That's what works for me because I always use a 5-gallon bucket, put in 10 drops every time.